Hello, this is Matthew, and I welcome you to another episode of Unrewarded Intelligence, the channel that offers you free information about expensive matters. This week, we have Bitcoin at $39,756, $1 is 2,515 sats, and Ethereum at $2,956. The US OTC desk saw incremental BTC and ETH buying and rotation out of lower cap altcoins into major crypto assets early in the week. Net flow shifted more towards selling as the week progressed. We also saw a handful of inquiries in generally less active names such as Kava, BAL, FXS, and EWT. The EU OTC desk saw heavy stablecoin, USDT, USDC, DAI, USD, and FX, Euro to Pound Sterling, flows this week, while stray altcoins BCH, Sol, ADA, Atlas, Mover, and Ape traded both ways. Bitcoin on-chain activity fell for the third week in a row. Active addresses fell by -1%, new addresses dropped by -0.02%, daily active supply was down by -4%, monthly active supply fell -1.3%, and transaction count decreased by -2.1%. The network's market value also dropped for the third week, falling by -1% this week, a loss of $7.8 billion. Additionally, while average transaction fees, a measurement of network demand, fell a whopping -24.6% to $1.59 last week, they ticked down another -17.4%. Bitcoin's hash rate jumped by +3.7% week over week to 209 exahashes per second after a loss last week. Bitcoin's miner outflow to miner revenue saw a -19.3% drop, suggesting that miner optimism may be rising as they are holding more coins than they are offloading. Further corroborating optimism among miners, Bitcoin's difficulty dropped by -1.26% on April 14th but is expected to jump by +2.18% around April 27th. However, miner market cap fell by -1.1% to $178 billion, 23% of total market cap, outpacing the drop in market cap. Because prices fell less than miner market cap, it appears miners sold more assets than the average market participant during the pullback. For the seventh consecutive week, consumer wallets with one or less have ticked up. Larger whale wallets with at least 1,000 Bitcoin saw the most significant increase amongst the wallet cohorts for the second week in a row, rising +0.09%. Now let's start with news of the world. Carlos Acevedo, who previously served the former interim Salvadoran President Mauricio Funes, commented that the country's decision to adopt Bitcoin further has come at the expense of its relationship with the International Monetary Fund. Acevedo noted the negotiation with the fund is practically dead. It would need to be revived. The issuance of the volcano bonds is another issue that is getting complicated for the president. The IMF previously concluded that Bitcoin and DeFi might destabilize financial markets as adoption expands, contributing to the perception that the IMF is not crypto-friendly. El Salvador has previously communicated its interest in issuing Bitcoin bonds with a scheduled launch in March 2022, subsequently postponed to the third quarter. Though the Salvadoran government has said the delay relates to legal reforms, Acevedo is skeptical, commenting, "First they said in January, then in March, then they said that the digital assets law is not ready, then that pensions were a priority, now the security issue. I believe that the government has realized that there is not enough interest in the markets to acquire this issue." U.S. Representative Jared Huffman, who leads a subcommittee within the House of Representatives Natural Resources Committee, recruited almost 24 Democratic colleagues to write a letter urging federal environmental officials to scrutinize the consequences of crypto mining further. The letter's signatories include lawmakers such as Brad Sherman and Jamal Bowman of California, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Jesus G. Chuy Garcia, and Marie Newman of Illinois. The letter stated, "We have serious concerns regarding reports that cryptocurrency facilities across the country are polluting communities and are having an outsized contribution to greenhouse gas emissions. People living near crypto mining facilities are already suffering the effects of air, water, and noise pollution from these facilities." The Democrats encouraged the further consideration of proof of stake as potentially having 99.99% lower energy demands to validate transactions. Crusoe Energy, the company that pioneered Bitcoin mining using wasted natural gas as a power source, raised $505 million in a new funding round led by climate technology venture capital firm G2 Venture Partners. Crusoe also closed credit facilities, expandable to up to $155 million, with SVB Capital, Spark Fund, and Generate Capital. The The company will use the new funds to expand its digital flare mitigation technology across the US and internationally. Crusoe will also launch a new cloud computing platform later this year called Crusoe Cloud, where flare gas and renewable energy sources will power energy-intensive high-performance computing systems. Russia reportedly plans to run pilot transactions as early as next year using a digital ruble for international payments. Ukraine's central bank banned crypto purchases using the country's local currency, invoking martial law, which has been in effect since the invasion by Russia. The National Bank of Ukraine said individuals could only purchase up to roughly $3,400 worth of crypto per month using foreign currency. The central bank classified crypto purchases as quasi-cash transactions, which also include replenishing electronic wallets and brokerage or FX accounts and payment for travelers' checks. The announcement came when Ukraine had received at least $100 million in crypto donations following Russia's invasion. On a panel presented by the International Monetary Fund alongside European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde and other representatives from the IMF, Indonesia, and Barbados, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that raising the benchmark U.S. interest rate by 50 basis points will be on the table for the next Federal Open Market Committee meeting in May. In its March meeting, members of the FOMC agreed on a hike of 25 basis points, but Powell said that it would be appropriate to move a little more quickly. In the exchange stock market, US-based Bitcoin futures ETFs saw AUM fall this week, except BTO, which saw a negligible plus 0.9% rise. XBTF fell the most, minus 9.3%, followed by BITS, minus 5.4%, and BTF, minus 1.4%. While the ETFs traded at a premium to NAV last week, all ETFs now trade at a discount to NAV between minus 4.35% and minus 4.68%. ETF volumes fell across the board except for XBTF, which increased by plus 31% week over week. BITS saw the most significant drop in volume, minus 75%, followed by BITO, minus 17%, and BTF, minus 14.5%. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, recently approved a new Bitcoin futures exchange traded fund, ETF, Ethereum, which has reinvigorated hopes that a spot Bitcoin ETF is in reach. In particular, Ethereum was approved based on the standards of the Securities Acts of 1933 and 1934, whereas prior approvals have relied on the Securities Act of 1940 or the Investment Company Act. Given that all spot Bitcoin ETF applications, which have to date failed to receive approval, are filed under the 1933 and 1934 Acts, the decision to approve Ethereum may signal an evolution in the SEC's thinking. Meanwhile, in the decentralized finance universe and NFTs, Uniswap Labs, the Uniswap decentralized exchange protocol developer, partnered with TRM Labs to begin blocking crypto wallet addresses engaging in illegal activity from its app's front end. Crypto wallet provider MetaMask warned users against possible phishing attacks using Apple's iCloud. iCloud users who have auto backups set up on their devices could experience their seed phrase, password encrypted MetaMask vault, stored onto iCloud. MetaMask noted that funds could be lost if users' Apple passwords were compromised. The company noted that users can disable automatic iCloud backups for MetaMask in order to avoid this issue. Louis Vuitton is introducing NFTs in its standalone mobile app game, called Louis, the game. Users are able to collect postcards in the game that teach them about the brand's history, earning them NFTs in the process. This is all for today. The text version is in the description. Thank you for supporting our channel. Use this information wisely. Stay sharp and illuminated. If you enjoy this session, please support our channel by clicking like and subscribe, and we will keep you updated with the news.